Yes, students, in this lecture, we'll discuss about ICMP checksum. So, whatever is ICMP, the checksum is calculated over the entire message, that is including header and data. So, the example we'll take and we'll see. This example below shows an example of checksum calculation for a simple echo request message. We randomly chose the identifier to be 1 and the sequence number to be 9. The message is divided into 16 bit, that is 2 byte words. The words are added and the sum is complemented. Now the sender can put this value in the checksum field. So it is given 800 values in the fields 10 test. Okay. So we randomly choose the identifier to be 1 and the sequence number to be 9. So the field values are shown 1 and 9. The message is divided into 16 bit 2 byte words. The words are added and the sum is complemented. Then the sender can put this value in the checksum field. Okay, so you can see 8 and 0. So 8 and 0 is split into 16 bit words of 2 bytes. This is 8, this is 0. Next 0. 0 has been shown. Then 1. 1 has been shown here, third line. Next 9 has been shown in fourth line. So you can see 0, 9. T and E. T and E. Test has been split into T and E, S and T. T and E, you can write T and E, S and T. S and T. So how much is T we have to find, how much is E we have to find, how much is S we have to find, how much is T. That we have to substitute. Then find the sum. After finding the sum, what we get, then checksum. So we have to go the checksum. The words are added and the sum is complemented. So the sum has to be complemented. So take the sum and take its complement. So you can see sum is 101041 10130 complement it 0101 zeros, then 01011100. So okay, then next we'll discuss about mobile IP. Mobile IP, we discuss mobile IP as mobile so as mobile, that is, now we'll discuss about mobile IP. Mobile IP, which is extension of IP protocol that allows mobile computers to be connected to the internet at any location where connection is possible. So mobile IP, which is extension of IP protocol, it allows mobile computers to be connected to the internet at any location where connection is possible. Next we'll see addressing. Main problem that must be solved in providing mobile communication using IP protocol is addressing. So main problem that must be solved in providing mobile communication using IP protocol is addressing. Then we'll see stationary host. Original IP addressing was based on the assumption that a host is stationary. Original IP addressing was based on the assumption that a host is stationary attached to one specific network. Attached to one specific network. A router uses an IP address to route an IP datagram. A IP address has two parts, a prefix and a suffix. The prefix associates a host with a network. With a network. Okay? With a network. For example, if IP address is 10.3.4.24/8 defines a host attached to the network 10.0.0.0/8. It implies that a host in the internet does not have an address that it can carry with itself from one place to another. So implies that a host in the internet does not have an address that it can carry with itself from one place to another. When the host is attached to the network exists, then the address is valid. So when the host attached to the network exists, then the address is valid. If the network changes, address is no longer valid. The routers use this association to route a packet. They use the prefix to deliver the packet to the network to which host is attached. This scheme works properly with stationary host. When the host attached to the network exists, then the address is valid. If the network changes, address is no longer valid. The routers use this association to route a packet. They use the prefix to deliver the packet to the network to which host is attached. This scheme works perfectly with stationary host. So whatever our IP address, they are designed to work with stationary host because part of the address defines the network to which host is attached. So next we'll see about mobile host. So when a host moves from one network to another, IP addressing structure needs to be modified. There are several solutions being proposed. Changing the address, which is the simple solution. Simple solution is to let the mobile host change its address as it goes to the new network. Then to obtain a new address is to associate it with the new network. Host can use DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Okay, but whatever is this approach, there are certain drawbacks. We'll see the drawbacks of this approach. One, the configuration files would need to be changed. Second, each time the computer moves from one network to another, it must be rebooted. Third, the DNS tables need to be revised so that every other host in the internet is aware of the change. Fourth, if the host roams from one network to another, during a transmission, data exchange will be interrupted because the ports and IP addresses of the client and server must remain constant for the duration of the connection. Next, we'll see about the two addresses. So whatever is this approach is more feasible, that makes use of two addresses. Host original address, which is also known as home address, which is permanent, associates the host with its home network, that is the network that is permanent home of the host. So host, which is original address, which is home address, is permanent, associates the host with its home network, that is a network that is permanent home of the host, and a temporary address, so-called care of address. When a host moves from one network to another, care of address changes, which is associated with the foreign network, the network to which the host moves. When a mobile host visits a foreign network, it receives its care of address during the agent discovery and registration phase. So this is the diagram showing home address and care of address. So I told you it is making use of two addresses. The host has its original address, which is called home address, home address, you can see the home address, and a temporary address called care of address. You can see here care of address. Okay, both addresses are shown, home address and care address. Okay, the home address is permanent. It associates the host with its home network. The network that is a permanent home of the host. The care of address is temporary. When a host moves from one network to another, the care of address changes. It is associated with the foreign network, the network to which the host moves. So I told you, when a mobile host visits a foreign network, it receives its care of address during the agent discovery and registration phase described later. Next, agents. Agents we'll see. Then internet requires a home agent and a foreign agent to make the change of address transparent to the rest of internet. So this figure shows the position of a home agent. You can see here home agent in this figure, home agent and foreign agent figure. You can see home agent shown here. Home agent relative to the home network. So this is home network and home agent is relative to home network, and a foreign agent. So this is a foreign agent relative to foreign network. So this is foreign agent relative to foreign network. You can see in this diagram both home agent and foreign agent are shown as router. But whatever is their function, they function as an agent in the application layer. They are both routers and host. Home agent. So we'll see about home agent. It is usually a router. Usually this is home agent. You can see the router. No, it is a router. Is a router attached to the home network of the mobile host. It is, you can see, it is attached to the home network of the mobile host. Home agent acts on behalf of the mobile host when a remote host sends a packet to mobile host. So home agent acts on behalf of the mobile host when a remote host sends a packet to mobile host. The home agent receives a packet and sends it to the foreign agent. Foreign agent. It is usually a router attached to the foreign network. It is usually a router attached to foreign network. The foreign agent receives and delivers packets sent by the home agent to the mobile host. The foreign agent receives and delivers packet sent by the home agent to the mobile host. Whatever is a mobile host, it can also act as a foreign agent. So whatever is a mobile host, it can also act as a foreign agent. So this mobile host can also act as a foreign agent. The mobile host and foreign agent can be same. The mobile host and foreign agent can be same. You can see mobile host and foreign agent can be same. Then a mobile host must be able to receive a care of address by itself. So whatever is a mobile host, it must be able to receive a care of address by itself. Care of address by itself. That can be done through the use of DHCP. That can be done through the use of DHCP. The mobile host needs the necessary software in order to allow it to communicate with the home agent. So the mobile host must have necessary software to allow to communicate with the home agent and to have two addresses, its home address and its care of address. This dual addressing must be transparent to the application program. Then we'll see about collocated care of address. When mobile host acts as a foreign agent, care of address is called collocated care of address. When mobile host acts as a foreign agent, care of address is called collocated care of address. Next, what is the advantage of having collocated care of address? Advantage of using collocated care of address is mobile host can move to any network without worrying about the availability of a foreign agent. Mobile host can move to any network without worrying about the availability of a foreign agent. The disadvantage is mobile host needs extra software to act as its own foreign agent. To act as its own foreign agent. So we'll see about the three phases. In order to communicate with a remote host, a mobile host goes through three phases. One phase is called agent discovery, another registration and data transfer. So to communicate with a remote host, a mobile host goes through three phases. Agent discovery, registration and data transfer. You can see agent discovery, registration and data transfer. You can see here agent discovery, registration and data transfer. You can see all the three in this now: agent discovery, registration and data transfer. All the three phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 has been shown here. You can see phase 1 agent discovery, phase 2 registration, phase 3 data transfer. Whatever is the first phase, which is a agent discovery, it will involve mobile host, foreign agent and home agent. So agent discovery will involve mobile host, foreign agent and home agent. Registration will also involve mobile host and two agents. Data transfer, remote host is also involved. So we'll see in detail all the three phases in next class. So I'll stop here. Okay.